Well, wrestling with allergy and asthma, a challenge for many Canadians. That's why we've invited Dr. Greenwald, an allergy and asthma specialist, into studio today. We're going to tackle this from a grassroots standpoint. Let's start with allergies. I'm a chronic allergy sufferer myself. And we talk about one of the biggest problems is dust mites.
Absolutely. Dust mites have been around for a long, long time. They live in our pillows and our mattresses for the most part. They can also take up residence in our carpets and upholstered furniture, and they're very persistent. They're hard to get rid of. It's nothing to do with how clean or dirty the home is. You can bring in a brand new pillow, and within a matter of months, most of the extra weight is actually the dust mite droppings and body parts which people inhale, and that can start the allergy. It can make the allergy worse, and it actually can set the stage for additional allergies coming on in the individual.
Now, are most people allergic to dust mites? And for those that aren't, no big deal, or do they pose other problems as well?
Well, not everybody's allergic. For those people who are allergic, or in fact have the potential to become allergic, in other words, mother has asthma, father has hay fever, and the child's not yet demonstrating any type of sniffles or itchy eyes or asthma yet, has a great potential. So they can become allergic to it if you have the right genetic background. Once you are allergic, it really is one of the main causes for symptoms. It's there year-round. So, I mean, whenever you're in bed, and you spend about a third of life in bed, and you're putting your head into the pillow and you're breathing the dust mite in. So that's how the allergy starts, and then that's how it keeps on going. So there's people who wake up stuffy in the morning and they can't figure it out. Oftentimes, as it is one of the most common allergens, it is dust mite.
Okay, so what can you do to safeguard your pillow and, you know, where we all get our...
Best thing, for example, if you have a child who's allergic, put them in a glass bubble in Arizona, right?
I've actually ordered one online.
Marble slab for the kids to sleep on. But practical terms, the most important central feature for protecting oneself or one's children or one's loved ones from dust mite is to encase the pillow, the mattress, and the box spring. The encasing is important because, first of all, it must encase. You have a lot of things that just go over the corners of the bed. You have the little pads. They actually provide an environment that is better for the dust mite to multiply. So it has to be completely encased. Here's a zipper that the dust mites can't get through. If you look inside of it, you know, you've got a special overlap so the zipper is completely sealed off. And it's a fabric which has been tested so that the dust mite particles, or the dust mites themselves, which are microscopic, you can't see them. There are millions in your bed. But they have been tested so it doesn't go through the fabric. You have to be very careful of the source that you get it from. So then this thing is zippered shut. Then the pillowcase and the sheets that go onto the mattress have to be laundered in an additive that will get the dust mite to be killed and release. Otherwise, it'll make its way back to the bed.
Okay, so this isn't your traditional standard Tide or name brand detergent?
No.
You need to buy a special?
There is a special additive. And the additive is added to your regular laundry. What's interesting is high heat will kill the dust mites, but the water temperatures in Canada are such that they're not hot enough to kill them. We have brought our temperatures down so the children don't get scalded. There's a limit on the hot water. In Europe, for example, they have certain washing machines that you can actually turn them up to boiling. That would do it. But with the additive, you can do a cold water wash.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about this. We're unable to do that. I've actually looked at these dust mite covers, and you're saying some of the ones that are out on the market now do not do the trick because of some of the criteria you mentioned. They do not encase the product.
They have to encase the product. The zipper has to be made in a special way. The stitching has to be done properly. So you do create a barrier, an impermeable barrier. About 90%, nobody's done a really good study, but about 90% of the dust mite encasings on the market are not dust mite proof. So you have to go to a reliable source.
You got to do your homework.
Which is why I support this sort of thing. So, so when you get to the mattress, it's exactly the same as the pillowcase, you see? But and another thing is, people don't like to sleep on something that's plastic or crinkly or hot. This is actually a very, very pleasant fabric, and it breathes. It still breathes. And this goes, and again, zippered right around the mattress itself.
And do you find with some of your patients, just sort of doing this initial step will eliminate a lot of their problems, their sensitivity?
We misinterpret how to manage asthma. It's not just take this drug or do that thing. It's a program. The program has to be deal with the environment, clean it up. So you want to have, let's say, simple floors, hardwood, vinyl, not deep pile carpet. You want to have the encasings. You want to do the environmental stuff. Keep the cat and dog out of the house or don't have one altogether. So you do the environment thing. So that prevents your exposure to what you can become allergic to or what you are allergic to.
Okay.
Then we use a variety of different medications in the nose, in the chest, for our lungs, for our eyes, to reduce the inflammation that occurs because of the dust mite allergy. And then finally, what we want to do is get the individual not to react. Reaction is an abnormal, excessive response that the body's done. That's the abnormal part. So then what we want to do is test and confirm we have the dust mite allergy, and then actually change the person's abnormal immune reaction.
Well, here's the thing, because I mean, I've suffered from allergies for a long time, and I think a lot of people resign themselves to the fact that, hey, I'm allergic to most of the time it's self-diagnosed, this, and this, and that's life, and
no way.
We just got to fight through it, and that's not the truth.
My teaching, both to the patients that I work with and to the students that I teach at the university, is you have to offer the individual or the parent of the individual, if it's a child, you want that child to be 100%. You're a mother.
Yes.
Do you want your child to be 97% okay or 100% okay?
100% all
100%. So that's our goal. And that means no limitations on activities, not missing time from work or school, not having to suffer through all of the different things that we go through. We pour on more and more medicines, but we don't do the other aspects. So it has to be a program.
Right.
We don't settle for anything except perfect.
I love it. Okay, we've talked about how to address, you know, some immediate concerns. Let's talk about also women are creatures of habit, and we find our favorite beauty products, and we develop a lifelong allegiance to them. But there are some, we really need to consider what's going into our cosmetics, our body lotions,
Absolutely. You see, people think of allergy, oh, I've got allergy, I've got hay fever. But in fact, it's a systemic illness. It involves the nose, it involves the eyes, it involves the lungs, and it involves the skin. Eczema, or atopic dermatitis, three different words mean the same thing, is an allergic disease. And what happens is that the skin will talk to the nose will talk to the chest. They're all kind of edging each other on. So part of our program is to make sure that the nose is taken care of, but so are the lungs, and so is the skin. Now here's a series of products that's been designed specifically for allergic individuals. They take everything out of it that other companies put into it so that the women will buy it. No fragrances or perfumes, right? No preservatives, so there's no formaldehyde, there's no parabens, none of those sort of things. And they also make it so that it actually will give you a protective, nourishing layer rather than disappearing and floating in. So those qualities which people market to market the cream are not issues here. These are not medicines. You avoid medicines. You reduce your amount of medication by creating a more natural thickness and a barrier to the allergens coming in and bring the skin back to normal. And that will help the whole picture.
That makes sense. And it's an effective product, so we got to get past all these
misconceptions. And you can use it for the skin, you can use it for the scalp, and you can even use it as a lip balm. People, all these kids and people walking around kind of really
this time of year.
And they're putting on stuff that has chemicals in it that's perpetuating the problem. So you want to have a sort of lip protectant that will actually nourish the lips, create a barrier from additional damage, and not, you know, keep the thing going.
You've got a whole arsenal. Now let's move on to the medication portion, if you will. I see you've got a lot of nasal sprays. I used a lot of these during my pregnancy when I couldn't take some of the traditional over-the-counter stuff. These things really work?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
More so than your antihistamine tablets?
Antihistamines are symptom control. They're important. The problem with taking an antihistamine is that if you feel a little bit better, you're not at 100%.
No.
And you kind of rely on that, whereas what you really want to do is get the inflammation completely down.
Okay.
So you may need to go on to these other things. Now, these are sprays that do contain medicines in the steroid family, but they are extremely safe because the amount you're getting is very, very small.
Right.
And what they do is they just simply open up the airways.
Yeah, we had talked earlier that a lot of people use these incorrectly.
That's right.
Which I told you, you know, I messed around with one of these and I didn't find it did anything, and so I went moving on.
One of the problems is that everybody shoots it up into their brain. So you have your little spray bottle and it's all ready to go. There you go. It's ready to go. And what they tend to do is they just kind of do like this or like this, and it's going right up there. But if we look at the anatomy of the nose, what we really should do is try to get the spray as far back and on those bones as possible.
Without it all running out.
Without running out.
Right.
So you got to get it directly, you're going to raise the nostril up and go straight in. But then the bottle's on its side, which doesn't work very well.
Right.
So what I tell patients is simply just face the floor and then head for the ear, not up there.
Smart. This is a good tip that I'll try. So ultimately, these are used in the short term.
Those are used seasonally. They can be used year-round. We have patients on them for good, long, prolonged periods. Now, don't forget, that gets the inflammation down,
Right.
but you are also attending to your environment. The real question then is, how do you move from getting the inflammation down and protecting the environment to actually making a disease-modifying intervention? In other words, how do we get in there and change this disease back to normal?
Oh, I could talk to you all day. Now, I did want to ask, though, for the people that perhaps like me that don't use these kind of medications seasonally, we are sort of it's part of our daily regime. Is there a danger to taking antihistamines, whether it's sprays? Is there a danger of developing this daily habit?
A lot of people are worried about getting used to the medication. If I use it too much, it's going to stop working. Usually what's happening is the disease is progressing.
Okay.
So what used to work for 1 season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, or 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it doesn't work anymore. It's not that it doesn't work anymore. It did control your symptoms.
Right.
But in the meantime, the underlying process was simply going on, perhaps building up, maybe other allergens coming in.
Okay.
Because
Makes
there
sense.
was no prevention happening.
Okay. Because I've heard from a lot of people, you flip your medication you don't buy the same stuff twice, right?
Well, I think what they're doing is they're relying only on the medications,
right.
only on the spray or the antihistamine, and not doing all those other things.
You got to start here first.
Start here first, and not only that, if you have nose, maybe have chest as well. If you have chest, maybe have skin as well. You have to do. It sounds like a lot, but you're actually putting the medications and the treatments where you need them. What I need for the skin is on the skin. What I need for the nose is in the nose. What I need for the lungs is inside the lungs. It's not going anywhere else.
Well, a lot of great tips today on how to treat your allergies, prevent asthma. We will certainly be talking to you more on real life as the season goes on, and some great tips. These products can all be found. You've got a great website, great resource for people that are looking to get their hands on some of these.
It's called allergycanada.com. Really simple. You can order online, you can get advice online. There's a lot of good information there. It's a site that a lot of doctors are supporting now because all of the products there are really, they've been vetted. They've been quality controlled. It's not your, sort of just a marketing thing.
Right.
So allergycanada.com is where you can get all of these things. Except your prescription medications.
Right.
These things, the creams, stuff like that.
Good stuff. Well, we're going to be connecting with Dr. Greenwald in the future. Perhaps we're going to evaluate just where my darn allergies, where the problems stem from in future episodes. But thank you so much for joining us.
Come on up to the office. We'll check your allergies on the spot.
I'll be there. More Real Life coming up after this.